Hello and welcome to the South Staffordshire College T-Level Diary Podcast. I'm Will Sibley and I'll be your guide to our exciting journey to explore everything we're doing in our brand new T-Level provision. This is the place where you get to get the inside scoop on what we've been up to each week and the skills we're developing with the learners and some of the challenges we're facing on the way. So let's dive into our first week of classes, starting with an introduction to T-levels with the learners, industry placements, what to expect over the next couple of months, and we covered some key dates for assessments, projects, and even trips that will form an essential part of the learning experience. So our first lessons this last week, we began by exploring the Animal Welfare Act 2006, which forms the backbone of the ethical practices in animal management. We introduced the 5 welfare needs, a key framework for understanding how to meet the basic needs of animals and why this is really an essential concept for anyone in the field of animal care. And to be honest, we'll keep coming back to that throughout the course because fundamentally that's a key piece of knowledge that the learners will take into any of the animal sectors that they'll choose to work in. So to kick things off, we asked the students, have you heard of the 5 welfare needs? And this led to some great discussions as we dove into those specifics, and it became a really learner-led session. We then moved on to a series of tasks where students annotated worksheets and researched the penalties for not meeting these welfare needs. It was really hands-on, and we think that was a really great way to hook the learners and get them to start to think of how what we do theoretically in the classroom will meet with what they, look at this guy listening to me, what they will be doing practically, whether they're out on their industrial placement or whether they are here on the Rodbaston Animal Zone. So next we transitioned through the week within our first project idea, but really trying to embed those common core aspects. So we started to look at employment rights and responsibilities. Now, obviously, it doesn't sound like the most exciting thing working with animals, but it's obviously crucial. We had some initial assessments to test the learners' understandings of their rights in the workplace, which will help them as they sort of head off onto their industry placements. But also one of the key successes covered was teamwork. Really want to emphasize how crucial this is for the success in any setting, but particularly in animal care, because you in most animal care positions you're not working alone. You are part of a multidisciplinary team or part of a wider team. So we got into some really fun role play exercises where students had to work together to set up and start to design animal enclosures and ensure that they were following the key health and safety protocols and they were holding each other to account based on what they'd learned already. So obviously, speaking of health and safety, and it's actually quite interesting because we've got the cherry picker, because this is development that we're doing, building our new binturong enclosure. So actually we've got keepers building this at the moment, following all the health and safety protocols. So it's really good. We've been using that as a very practical opportunity for learning to observe what we're doing on the animal zone, to sort of articulate and emphasize what we're doing and what we're teaching them. But health and safety moved on from manual handling to understanding COSH, how to conduct risk assessments. So we're really starting to bring in the manifestations of this theory, but that's all about keeping the animals safe. So I think we got buy-in from the learners. They could see the relevance and understanding of it. And we even got them to start to conduct risk assessments, which doesn't sound like the most glamorous, but it meant that they got to come and observe some of the animals, be in situ and sort of I guess, start to think about the obvious risks that were in place. And so, you know, they're here to learn about animal care on the T-level, and they got to hang out with some animals. So the more we can knit that together with the Common Core, I feel that's going to be the real challenge for us on this T-level. And so as week one, some goats, as week one continued, and we got to spend a bit more time on the animal zone, it became important that we tried out some of these key practical emergencies. So we actually did an animal escape emergency drill for the learners to demonstrate the teamwork they'd been doing, demonstrate their understanding of some of the risk assessments that they'd been looking at, some of the processes and protocols that we have on the animal zone. And it was really great. We saw some took it in their stride, demonstrated real confidence in what they were doing. Others a little bit more reserved, maybe lending themselves to curiosity of the process. But fundamentally, everyone got involved, and that was really nice. It was a really great icebreaker for those learners. And we actually conducted it because we're running 2 groups on the T-level, so we conducted it together. They got the opportunity to be with the not only the people in their group, but also the people in the other group. So they were one cohort and one collective entity. So to wrap up the week, we reflected on what we'd learned and what still needs a bit more work. But even though we had embedded some of the Common Core and the core pathway, so they're 2 exams that we really need to concentrate on, even though they're embedded in some of this wider project work that we've been doing with them, we identified the aspects, tied them, decontextualized them, got them to rate themselves on a confidence level, and sort of therefore identify their areas for revision, which we're gonna keep doing as part of our delivery method for it, so that they have these really detailed revision notes that they're able to go back to from that decontextualized aspect, and sort of start to build their revision when we start to get into the exam period. Being followed by this lovely lady. So that's week one done and dusted. It's been a jam-packed start, but we wanted it to be. We wanted to, you know, challenge the learners, wanted to get them involved and into it. But equally, this course is all about pace and, you know, going through the projects and problem solving. And in order to do that, we need to really build that strong foundation. So we're trying to jam pack as much in as we can. So next week, we'll be digging deeper into the biological systems of animals and starting with the circulatory. Continuing our practical skills development, and I'm really excited to see how everybody progresses. So thanks for tuning in to this diary podcast that I'm doing, and don't forget to join me for more updates next week. Peek behind the scenes of our T-level journey here at South Staffs with the new animal care T-level. So that's a goodbye from me. I will see you then. But don't remember to keep checking up and catching up with us to see how we're getting on. This is all about sharing lessons learned, challenges that we face, and some of the decisions that we make. And, you know, I no doubt, even though I'm stood here having had a really positive first week, sometimes it will be talking about how it's not quite worked and it's not fit together. But yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye.